This is the brand new INEOS Grenadier. I've been wanting to see this in person for about 2 years. I've been watching its development. What a platform. Permanent four-wheel drive. Also uses 3 litre turbo petrol or diesel, and that's a BMW variant. As well as the one that we've just been out, had an auto box as well, 8 speed.
The INEOS Grenadier M1 station wagon is a permanent 4x4 that utilises a proven BMW powertrain, which is either a twin-turbo diesel or petrol straight-six engine. As you'd expect, it can tow 3.5 tonnes, and there may well be a pickup version in the pipeline that can carry 1 tonne on the bed as well. No angles, wading depth, economy or 0 to 60 have been confirmed yet, as they are only halfway through the process of testing around the world on different terrains for over 1 million miles to ensure it's capable of anything. We expect the fundamentals to remain the same, but it will be interesting to see the finished version in all its glory.
On the inside, Recaros. Look at this. Proper beast. Aircraft style switchgear on the roof. You get sunroofs and all types of things as well. Lots of handles. Believe me, you'll need them. And yes, that is a Bavarian shifter. This screen displays everything from the balance of the vehicle through to the economy and everything in between. Geez, the lot. This is built for purpose, it's reinforced where it needs to be. Skid plates left, right and centre. Even things like the side steps. Water can easily run off them. And they're not as chunky as other ones as well. Meaning it should just glance off things. Oh, okay. Solid, dependable thunks. There's a beast, isn't it? I'll be right.
Oh, okay.
If it falls off, it falls off. Feels like it's extremely capable, you know?
Yeah.
You can just tell by the way it's moving. Feels smooth, if that makes sense.
Composed is the word I used.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, composed. It's a very, very composed and very capable vehicle, which you always feel secure. So all I've done to enhance traction is lock the centre dip. I'm still in our range because obviously we're permanent 4x4.
Oh yeah, of course. So it's 4 high, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So permanent 4x4, like the old, like a G-Wagon, like the old Defenders.
Yeah.
In fact, like the new Defenders. But we're not relying on any electrical systems to give us traction enhancement in an off-road environment.
How does?
So it's hydraulic power steering, as you'd
lovely
expect.
My favourite.
Yeah, yeah. So you get much more of a feel.
Yeah.
So it feels very, very compliant. Because you can manually override the gears on the tip track. Yeah. And you can actually physically hold it.
It's a BMW shifter, isn't it?
Yeah. There's more than enough torque to cope with the resistance of the terrain, because we have mapped it, as I said, for high torque, and it's a very efficient unit, even petrol, which you normally wouldn't associate with torque.
No,
these are incredible torque values, and much more than you find in BMW applications, and it makes it extremely versatile. So whether you choose petrol or diesel, obviously the diesel's got marginally more torque, slightly less power. This is extremely compromising in terms of traction.
Yeah.
And all I've done to aid traction is lock the centre diff.
Yeah.
We've still got an ability on this to physically lock axle diffs. We're not relying on traction control to give me enhancement in grip, and that means that we can tell the kind of transmission when we need to enhance traction rather than rely on a reactive unit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And it's a much more commanding way of driving, what I call analog driving. So rather than rely on an ECU to make those conscious decisions,
that's better. Well, that's it. It takes it back to its, I suppose, the core of off-roading. This, it reminds me more of like we used to own a Series 2A.
Oh right,
so and that had a petrol engine, but obviously petrol engines back then weren't throttled down to
40 horsepower.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And this, it just torque, as you said, you don't connect that with petrol engines. It's with diesels. Oh, I love doing this kind of thing. Keeps trudging on, doesn't it?
Yeah. I guess one thing also important to note is you're not getting smashed against that bead post next to you.
No, you're not.
Glazing, whereas in a vehicle, particularly with leaf springs, you're thinking double cabs, that type of vehicle, that would be swirling around on the back end, and
it would.
You'd be smashed all over.
No, this is the kind of terrains that I see up where I live, so
oh right, okay.
It's nice to be passenger driven rather than me driving, to be honest.
Okay.
So no, this is right in my ballpark, as it were.
In terms of prototype development, I've been just UK based because of COVID. So I've been working for INEOS for quite a long time now in terms of off-road capability. But,
what a career! Amazing.
It's effortless, you know. It isn't challenged, so it's quite a nice environment to be in.
Yeah.
Because it's not challenged, the vehicle is much more composed. Therefore, as an operator, as a driver, and as a passenger, you're much more relaxed. So it's, you know, I guess one of the other things that you've obviously picked up on is there's no harshness, no rattles,
not at all.
No vibration.
No. Very refined.
And for a prototype, that's pretty remarkable.
It is.
To be honest. And the amount of evolutions that I'm doing over the last, I've been involved in physically testing these vehicles for the last 6 months, and the amount of evolutions that we're doing with these vehicles, and none of them have started to come apart in terms of other fracture anyway.
No squeaky dashes, no bangs and clunks. Like you kind of relate.
Yeah, I mean the vehicles
that was crazy.
Very easy to drive, you know. I mean, this is a serious bit of terrain.
I noticed that drop then. I was amazed that it didn't actually catch, say, the wishbone.
And in terms of the suspension, it's just absorbing all the energy and it's not having any effort. So it's still a very composed vehicle even at this speed.
Yeah.
Not many struggles. Back to, I'll give you a little example now about how we're talking about the gearbox earlier on. So go now into low range. I just want to show you an interesting feature that we've got on here. So obviously 8-speed ZF gearbox, proven gearbox, been around a long time. We know that it's industry standard. I can just drop it in the first gear and it will hold that gear. We are having HTC on this vehicle.
Right.
We're putting it on here. Maybe for someone who's maybe not so confident. And also the other, you can just press the button and it will apply brakes automatically and give you that deceleration individually and independently on each wheel, which is a perfect asset for people to use. You can actually now, because I'm permanent 4x4, I've got engine braking on all 4 wheels. This is, again, quite a rough section of ground. In terms of traction's quite good. A little bit wet stone, but your initial observations of the vehicle? I'll be interested in someone who's got a lot of experience in many different types of vehicles.
Where you'd think it'd bottom out, it doesn't for a start. Which, I mean, I've been watching some of these divots and I was thinking, why haven't we clumped? And we just haven't. So ground clearance, also it's composed, it's refined, and it's only loud when you floor it, which makes sense with really a turbo petrol. And it's just At no point does it feel like, oh dear, it's going to roll. You know, it just doesn't. I mean, that. If I was coming down here at a pickup, it would be squirrely and probably trying to go sideways all the way down.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's almost like it's going with the wheels rather than, there's no slide.
No. It's a very, very secure platform in terms of driving, which gives you a lot of confidence, you know. You kind of don't have any of those moments where you're concerned. Come on, squirrel, out of the way.
No, it's got like multiple applications. It suits forces, you know, army and that so well. It's remarkable how little movement there is in the cabin. You expect to be doing this.
Exactly.
And you're just not.
It's the suspension doing all that for you.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes, they're articulating so that you'll maintain a stable base, and that's...
I know they've matched up, you know, like the suspension and the engine and the box all very well.
And you see the transition from one terrain to the next.
Yeah. Well, like you said, seamless. So what should it pull, say, 0 to 60-ish?
Do you know there's figures on data yet? So
No.
Bear in mind, let's be fair, we've got the aerodynamics of a brick. So, you know, because it's designed as a utility vehicle.
Yeah.
Arches and all that.
It's built for a purpose.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, the performance figures aren't out yet, are they? So, no. But this is designed for a job, and it does it without any struggle. You can see, you know, on all different types of terrain, it's a very, very composed vehicle.
No, you don't expect it to feel like that.
And I've been in Range Rovers with less comfort.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, I'm expected to do this, and you don't.
Sorry, Cruz, I'm going to have to scare you.
It's the kind of thing that the royal family will buy just a shed load of so they can go flat out across fields.
Yeah, quite a bumpy field as well.
No, you can feel the suspension doing its work.
Yeah.
That's it, you expect it to be doing this now and it's not. If the camera is there, that'll be